What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rob James. Now, I may be a little later than most of the other YouTubers, but you gotta forgive me. So in case you guys don't know this about me, I am in the National Guard, the Army National Guard, where I have served for 10 years. And if you don't know how the National Guard or the reserves work, we have this thing where we drill once a weekend, and then we have our annual training, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks out of the year. So at the time that this news broke, I was in the middle of a drill weekend. I was like 100 miles away from home. I didn't have my PlayStation nearby. Otherwise, I would have went ahead and made this video immediately. So please forgive me for pushing this out too late, even though it's like no shit news to the rest of y'all. My schedule can be kind of hectic at times, but I still wanted to get this out because I figured I wanted to throw my 2 cents in anyway. So I'm sitting over here looking at my phone, and I'm sitting over here reading the news that instead of us getting a Sledgehammer release Call of Duty for 2020, I guess Treyarch is going to take over. They are giving us Black Ops 5. Once again, I know this isn't new news to you guys anymore. You guys have already seen the articles, you guys have already read up on everything, but once again, I just wanted to go ahead and give my own opinion. So I don't know how you guys feel about this. Me personally, I don't know where I sit on this. Now, as much as I played Black Ops 4, as much time as I put into it, I cannot help but, you know, just feel disappointed with Treyarch, as with most of you. It's not so much with the gameplay itself. I mean, Call of Duty is broken in some aspect every single year. It's just, you know, there's stuff that's broken. It's just part of the game. At some point, we just suck it up, we deal with it. It's more or less how greedy Treyarch has become. The loot boxes, the microtransactions, that half-ass season pass on top of us already paying $60 bucks for the game, which I'm glad I did not purchase that season pass, because I probably would have been more frustrated with these guys. It's just that greed system that they have going on here. They just sat here and they've milked us for money. This game was very anti-consumer friendly. I feel like Treyarch just didn't care about the consumers, you know, those of us, especially as OG Call of Duty fans who have invested so much time into this franchise. So with all that being said, you know, I'm glad that we are getting a Call of Duty game for 2020, since Sledgehammer and Raven didn't have themselves squared away. Somebody's got to pick up that slack. But knowing that it's going to be Activision releasing this game in 2020, it's kind of got me on the fence about that, because I'm not sure myself whether I want to trust these guys or not. I pulled up some articles here, like I said, which I'm sure you guys have already read. I've seen some things. It kind of interested me. Now, so what do we have here? It's saying here that it's saying, according to those briefed on the overhaul, Treyarch will take creative leadership on this new Black Ops, while Raven and Sledgehammer will serve as support studios for the game, transforming the work they've done on their own single-player story mode into a campaign for Black Ops 5, which will also be set during the Cold War. Now, for you OG Call of Duty players, we've been through this once before. The very first Black Ops was based on a Cold War. So with that gives me some kind of hope for the game, because I don't know about the rest of you guys. I'm kind of sort of annoyed with Specialists this year. They were perfectly balanced in Black Ops 3, but I don't know what went through Treyarch's head when they designed the Specialists for this particular game, but they've just overpowered everything. Like I said, I'm still playing it because it just comes with the territory. I've gone into bare bones when I don't feel like being bothered with Specialists, but they have ridiculously overpowered these things, and I feel like they just turn the tide of battle at the worst time, at the most opportune time. So knowing that this game is going to be set in a Cold War, we know that there's not going to be any futuristic or semi-futuristic setting. So with that, I'm expecting that there won't be any Specialists for this. I'm expecting that there might be classic boots on the ground gameplay. This is not a shot at you newer Call of Duty people, or people that might have came in after the first Black Ops or Modern Warfare 3 that are used to the jetpacking and the advanced movement and things like that. This is not a shot at you guys. This is more or less just, okay, I'm thrilled about the nostalgia that might come with Black Ops 5. But we'll see what happens. We have a solid year or so before this goes about. Something else that I saw, it says that what this means is that rather than getting 3 years to make their next game after Black Ops 4, Treyarch will have just 2. Some at the company say they're not pleased about that and are already bracing for brutal overtime hours like they faced last year on Black Ops 4. And what else do we have? You know, let's skip that part. I saw something else in here. Oh, this is what it was. It's saying that this news comes during a strange time for Activision and Call of Duty. Although Black Ops 4 sold well at first, we've heard that it hasn't had quite the revenue tail that Activision's bean counters were hoping to see. Which, I don't know how that's possible. I mean, these guys should have had a massive profit with the content or lack of, or half-ass for lack of better words, they should have seen quite a decent revenue. Now, some of you guys can educate me on this, because you know, if there's more to this that I may be missing, feel free to correct me on this. But from what I know, with all the profit that I assume these guys are getting with the greed-based loot system that they've put into place, I just assumed that, okay, well, Treyarch has seen a massive revenue for this game. So if they're not thrilled about this, if it hasn't seen the profit that they'd like to see, well then maybe it's because maybe fans just weren't interested in the game, or maybe people just didn't buy it. They weren't thrilled about the whole season pass. People were feeling like they were being punished because Activision or Treyarch, whoever, wanted to just milk extra money out of us. So I could see either of those things playing out here. Once again, hopefully they've learned from this. If this wasn't what they were, if the revenue wasn't what they were expecting it to be, you know, hopefully they take all those things into consideration. Hopefully they understand that us as fans, we weren't too thrilled about some of these systems that they had put into place, and this is something that they learn to avoid next time. So in terms of Black Ops 5, now we all have our own expectations for the next Call of Duty, which we already have set in stone here. We already are for sure that it is Modern Warfare 4, which again I'm thrilled about, because I know with Modern Warfare 4, if that is the case, we're going to get that nostalgic boots on the ground gameplay. I mean, this game here is boots on the ground, I know that, but I mean, I guess more or less without the specialists. I'm put it that way. We know that there will not be any specialists on Modern Warfare 4. I will be thrilled to see a modern battle setting in 2019 or 2020 or wherever they decide to set the game into. I'm actually pretty excited about that, but I'm not going to jump into that. That'll be a video for a later day. Let's talk about some of our expectations for Black Ops 5. Now, this is solely my expectations here. If you guys have other expectations, feel free to post them in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think should happen with the new Black Ops. First things first, no specialists. Let's get that out the way. Once again, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any specialists, because if they're going to stick with the Cold War setting, I'm almost certain that there will not be any specialists. I mean, Cold War, we're looking at anywhere from the 1960s to the early 1990s. Not enough for us to have this semi-futuristic gameplay. Number two, we obviously want a better system in place. As far as cosmetic items, weapons, things to that nature, I absolutely hate the fact that we literally had to pay for every little detail, whether it be a cosmetic item, whether it be a weapon, you know, a camo design for the weapon, a mastercraft, a signature. I hated that. You know, I don't know what was going through these guys' heads when they decided they were going to charge us for every little thing. It got to a point, I think there was one day I purchased the mastercraft for the MX9. I was not thrilled with the fact that after I made that purchase, I had to grind out the tiers of briefcases before I even unlocked the mastercraft for it. I thought it was stupid. It's like, look, if I'm going to give you my money here to get this mastercraft, why do I still have to grind to earn it in the first place? I mean, granted, I'm going to get it, but I'm a man of principle, as with most of you guys, so I thought that was pretty silly on their end. Another thing, we need more innovation out of Treyarch. We need a lot more innovation. Now, I don't particularly have any criticism when it comes to the map design for this game. I think some maps could have been designed a little bit better, but once again, it is what it is. I've learned to deal with it, but we need more originality. Now, at first, it was like, okay, good, we got some of the OG maps here. We've got Jungle, we've got Summit, what was it? We got Firing Range. But as more content comes out, you know, it feels like Treyarch just ran out of ideas when it came to designing maps. So not only are we getting just, you know, horribly designed maps, but we're also getting recycled maps, because I guess they're just lacking originality. I would love to see some much fresher maps. I would also like to see more content. Treyarch has supported Blackout and Black Ops 4 more than anything else. You know, I can't necessarily fault them for that. It's a brand new game mode. They wanted to see how it resonates with fans. So yes, I see that we're going to dedicate time to it, but they dedicated so much time to it that it feels like us players that prefer multiplayer, it feels like we were being ignored because we didn't get as much content. I don't play a whole lot of Blackout, so if you Blackout players feel like they were ignoring you too, or didn't give you guys enough content, then I do feel sorry about that. Do correct me if I'm wrong about that, but it does feel like us multiplayer players didn't get paid enough attention to. It's a mix of that, or they just flat out didn't care. They were making us these promises, or what it felt like promises, and then they would just renege on them. Once again, I'm a man of principle. As with most of you guys, we're sitting over here paying $60, maybe more than that if some of you guys out there purchased the season pass, which once again I'm glad that I didn't. We just want more dedication, you know. When I first saw the gameplay, and when I first saw the preview, when I saw the announcement for this game, it looked pretty promising, you know. I like the way it looked. I like the semi-advanced movement, because I think I favor the slide way more than I prefer the dive, things like that. That slide is probably one of the best gameplay movements that they have implemented here. I know it originated in Black Ops 3, but it did take me a while to get used to the advanced movement system on that game, which I did ultimately get accustomed to and learn to enjoy the game. But Black Ops 4, because it's, you know, technically boots on the ground, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a more convenient way to get out of complicated firefights. So they did get that much down. But what worries me is, now that they have a shorter time than the original 3-year gap that they have to develop these games, now I just want to see how they respond. They are aware that a lot of us fans are unhappy with the product they pushed out. Not so much the product they pushed out, it's how they pushed it out in terms of getting us content along the way, things like that. So hopefully they take things like that. I hope they take it into consideration, and, you know, they're just a little more careful with their approach, because at the end of the day, we are the fans. We are the reason that they make their money, and I hope they just pay more attention to us, because ultimately without us, no shit, they wouldn't be here. So I would like to know what you guys think, how you guys feel about the new Black Ops 5, if they do stick with that idea and it becomes a thing. I'll be posting a video soon on Modern Warfare 4, but I would rather sit here and wait until it's officially announced, because I don't want to sit here with the goofy face if we sit here and prep for Modern Warfare 4 and then somewhere out of the blue it ends up being they give us a Ghost Part 2, which I wish would have happened sooner or later, because I hated that cliffhanger ending in the campaign. But I'm not going to jump into that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this here commentary. Like I said, I may have been hit or miss on some of these things. If I'm wrong about certain information, please feel free to correct me. But this is just my opinion. This is just my 2 cents. I will see you guys soon. This is Rob James. Peace.